Slow me down. All right. Hopefully everybody's up and awake today. Welcome to Monday. It is March 30th. So hopefully everybody's up and rise and shine, getting back into your schedule of getting up and getting some schoolwork done. So again, this is Monday. I'm going to go over a few things that you guys should have, or should I say, start doing today. I already posted on Google Classroom, but I want to go over it with you so you feel confident about what you're doing. Also, hopefully these videos should work. I've now moved the YouTube video over to my work email. So I think that was the problem before because it was through my personal email. So please, on Google Classroom, if it's not working, let me know so that way I can contact the our district regarding what I need to do next to make sure you guys can see the videos. Okay. All right. So I want to start with what you guys were working on Friday last week, the rulers then and rulers now. This was just basically taking a look at the pictures here, and you can see the rulers then previously. Most of them, or should I say all of them, have on some type of military outfit, very much decorated so that they were pretty much worked their way up high into military status. All have hats on except for one here. So a few of them are kind of smiling, but the rest of them kind of have more of a serious dictatorship type of look. Remember your term caudillo, okay, which you guys had written down, which was a brutal dictator, usually from the military. And before recently, this is kind of what we saw in many Latin American countries. As you guys remember, we discussed that kind of before when we did like the little interviews, and that was a huge problem. Probably within the last 20 years, most of them have moved more towards a democratic type of government. Again, you can see, not to say that the dress determines that, you can see most of them are wearing more suits, more modern look, haircuts, no hats on, things like that. So there's a big difference between then and now. And so as we get into this, you guys should have kind of written that down. Also, you can notice that each of these are all kind of like smiling, have more of a human look about them, as far as where I might go up there and shake their hands by this smile, whereas here on some of these I might kind of be a little more standoffish. So um, just kind of whatever kind of things that you can see that makes a big difference between then and now, jot those things down on your sheet. And like I said, you can use your interactive notebook or whatever you have. It's totally fine. All right, so let's take a look here. I'm gonna scroll down. And remember, you can do this on your own sheets, create your own boxes, or if you're able to print these out, you can print them out if you like to. There's no set way to do this, okay? Work with what you have. So who rules and how? So you're supposed to choose 10 countries here, and you can randomly choose any. You can choose Mexico, Brazil. You can choose whatever you want. Caribbeans, any country in the Caribbeans, Belize, whatever. And so write those countries down, and you're going to give them a rating of 1 to 10 based on your research. Okay, so whatever you find, I'm going to show you a few websites you can use. You can also use some others if you like. Um, a 1 would mean it's not democratic pretty much at all. Okay, or maybe people vote, but they still vote, and this is still a dictator. That might be a 1. And then those that are pretty much practicing democracy fully, where basically based on the majority of the vote, that's who goes into office. So that would be more towards your 10. And then read a little more background, because remember, like I said, democracy, how we know it, is not always how it is someplace else. So kind of keep that in mind. And then give your explanation, meaning that, let's say, for example, everyone voted, but they voted in a dictator, then you should explain that here on this list. And so I'm going to show you guys a page. Make sure I get the right one here. So there's a CIA.gov library you can use. I'm trying to see if I can find that there. So I'm going to scroll all the way back up because I was looking through this. And I was looking at Brazil in particular. So I'm going to go back just so you can see the site. So Central Intelligence Agency. So this is definitely a legitimate site to use. Okay. And then what I did was I had in this little search engine box, I put in Brazil. Then I clicked on Brazil. Um, I think I clicked on this one. I'm just going to go back to where I was. And then you can see here's their flag, shows you where they are on the map, all the different cities, bodies of water. And then as you scroll down, there's a lot of information. So even within reading the background, you can see how they were once ruled by the Portuguese. They attained their independence in 1822. It talks about when they the abolition of slavery there, 1888. And as you read on, the awarding of the 2014 FIFA World Cup and 2016 Summer Olympics. So it's kind of giving you some great facts about the country, some of their accomplishments. And then if you go down a little bit further, you can see how the latest leader, who is, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, Jair Bolsonaro, won the presidency with 55% of the vote and assumed office on January 1st, 2019. So we do know people voted. So that would be definitely more towards the 8, 9, 10 rating. Okay. You may want to go through and scroll through some more information here. There's tons of information that tells you about the country. What does it look like today? For example, the number of males compared to females, population growth rate, birth rate, all that kind of stuff here. And then between the ages, the percentages of people within the ages. And there's tons of like all these different, anything you probably want to know about a country is listed here. Political parties. So if you want to know what the political parties are, you can look that up. I know I'm scrolling through pretty fast. But that's what you're going to do on this sheet here. Like I said, you can Google other websites as well. Another one I'm going to post, which is another one that gives statistics. And I'll post the name of that. Sorry about that. Human development reports also kind of gives you some information regarding what does the country look like as far as the percentages compared to other countries around the world, things like that. So that's pretty much it for what you need to do. Make sure you guys finish the written down the terms that I mentioned, the caudillos, republic and democracy. We talked about democracy back in last semester, but of course we're going to keep reviewing some of the same terms and see how they're used in a lot of these countries here. Also, don't forget to make sure you are keeping some type of journal regarding your day to day, what's going on, even if it's the same thing. Remember, you are a living primary source, meaning that one day this time period we're in right now is going to be in the history books. And what you jot down, and if someone else reads it later, it's an actual primary source. You're someone who lived through this time period and you're giving your thoughts and process of what's going on that people can one day look back on and say, oh, wow, they had to stay in the house. Oh, wow, stores run out of toilet tissue, things like that. So this gives insight into people years, generations from now, like, man, I wonder what did my grandfather go through when they experienced coronavirus. Okay. One day you guys will be, grandparents and great grandparents, and you're going to try to tell this story about your experience. And having it written down gives a more accurate experience of what's going on, because 20 years from now you'll forget the day to day. You'll forget that, oh, I woke up at 10 this morning and I got up and in my pajamas I was on my computer doing my schoolwork. You may forget that 20 years from now. Okay, so just little different things to think about. Make sure you guys are doing that daily. Like I said, I'll kind of give you some insight on how we're going to take that. We should get a little more direction, hopefully later this week, about as far as how we will start incorporating grades. Right now, I'm not doing anything to hurt your grades. I am keeping track of who's doing what and showing me their work, commenting when I have questions. I will start to add some questions this week too. A lot of that will be towards your participation points that will only help your grade for now, but we will be talking about how your grades will begin to look as the week goes on. So stay tuned for that. All right. And if you have any personal questions about what we're doing, what is going on with grades, email me directly. That is not something that needs to go on Google Classroom. Okay, I know that's a concern of everybody, but email me those type of things directly. If it's regarding the assignments here, who rules, how, all that kind of stuff, those are questions that other people may have the same question, then that should go on Google Classroom. But if it's something about what's being implemented about coronavirus, if it's something about how e-learning is going to work, just email me. I'll be glad to answer your questions. Okay, because sometimes I don't want us to get off task when we're on Google Classroom and getting other kids all overwhelmed. Just email me directly and I'll be glad to chat with you. Okay. Well, have a good, wonderful day. This is your work for today. Tomorrow we'll kind of move on to some new things and we will possibly be moving into a research paper soon. So be ready for that. So, again, have a wonderful day. Stay on your school work. Okay. Set aside a time. If it's from 10 to 2, whatever, set aside a 3 to 4 hours of your day that you are making sure your work gets done, and then go out and do the different things you want to do as far as getting in the run, whatever it may be. I know you guys are hearing all this stuff from your parents, but stay disciplined because this is where e-learning can be difficult and we may want to do our own things, sleep in late, but be very disciplined. Okay. All right. Well, have a good one, you guys, and we'll talk with you soon with your girl, Miss Whiteside.